separation from the institute. Separation from the institute. Separation from the institute. The separation may take place in 3 ways. The first one is transfer. The second way is departure. And the third way is dismissal. I don't want you to be separated from your respective congregations, from Lyons sisters, or Ursuline sisters, or Sacred Heart sisters. I don't want you to be separated. But you should know that there are ways in which one is separated from the congregation. When I speak of transfer, this is not the usual transfer within the province or within the congregation. This transfer is from one congregation to another congregation. One congregation to another congregation. Suppose you are St. Joseph of Lyons, you want to become St. Joseph of Tops. Same saint, but founders different. Both are from France. Okay, you can change, no problem. But what is the procedure? You have to know. A Salesian wants to become a Jesuit, or a Jesuit wants to become a Salesian. There is possibility in the law of the church. Possibility. But there is a specific procedure for the same. These are treated in canon numbers 684 and 85. 684 and 685. Some other sisters may also ask you, at that time you will be able to guide them. So now, first among the separation, we comment on the transfer, 684 and 85. After completing my explanation, I will give you time that you may ask questions after each of the section here. So, normally, who transfers? It is the perpetually professed sisters who transfer. Because if a junior wants to join another congregation, what can normally the congregation do? Okay, you have professed temporarily for 1 year. Let the 1 year be over, you go away and join wherever you want. We have nothing to do with you, you have nothing to do with us. After the expiry of the vows, if permission is not granted for renewal, then the sister is no more member of the congregation. You understand that point? But perpetually professed. Who has to apply? Of course, the member has to apply. Who can give permission? The Superior General with the consent of the council. Superior General with the consent of the council. Which Superior General? Both Superiors General. Both her present congregation and the future congregation in which she will become member. Both cannot give the permission on their own with the prerequisite that they get the consent of the council. Whenever I said consent is used, the council alone will vote. The majority of them must endorse the decision. We have repeated it by this time a number of times. I need not repeat once again. Suppose Superior General is willing to give. The council says, no, we want her. We don't want to give her permission to go away. Can the Superior General give? No. Suppose the council is totally in support of the sister, but the Superior General doesn't want. Is she obliged to give the permission?
Yes.
No. Some people said yes. That's the difference between collegial act and act with the. So I said Superior General doesn't want. The council wants to give her permission. In the case of dismissal, superior general is one more member, then superior general is helpless. Superior general, if she wants to give permission, I thought yesterday you understood very well. I spent quite a lot of time explaining that. You didn't understand. You disappoint me today. Superior general, to give permission, she needs the approval of the council. Not to give permission, she did not give she doesn't need the approval of the council. Not to give permission, she doesn't need. If superior general is completely opposed, the council cannot force her. In the case of dismissal of a sister, superior general is helpless. She is one more counselor, that's all. At least now do you understand?
Yes.
Some are keeping quiet, I don't know, they are in their own world. So yesterday I took pains to explain what is the difference between collegial act and act of the superior general with the consent. Those who don't understand, at least during the break, ask the companions and try to understand. Collegial act is an act which is voted by the superior general and the council. If it is consent or consultation, only the councillors vote. Only the councillors vote. You should know the difference. In the case of consultation, even though the council is opposed, the superior general can go ahead. In the case of consent, the superior general cannot go ahead when the council is opposed. However, even though consent is required, the superior general is not obliged to give permission if she is opposed. But she should not cause unnecessary delay or harm to the person. I was wondering what these sisters understood. My pre-students did not understand, they were confusing. They understood at one go. I was very proud. Today I became very humble. I said about 4 kinds of action. What is the difference? Superior general acting alone, superior general after consulting, superior general after getting the consent. Some of you seem to think when the council says you have to give, the superior general must give. No. That is wrong. The superior general cannot give if the council says you should not give. If the council says you should give, then superior general is not obliged. He is not obliged. On the other hand, collegial act must be implemented because superior general is one of the councillors. Her power is less. Her power is limited. At least now,
Yes.
I should pray to God that God may enlighten. Those who don't understand, like St. Thomas, please say, Father, I don't still understand. I don't still understand. I don't understand the collegial act and the act with the consent. Both are one and the same to some of you. Collegial act or 4 plus 1. Suppose 4 councillors are there, plus 1. Out of 5, if 3 decide, it must be executed. An act with the consent. Superior general wants to sell the land or start a novitiate. It is an act with the consent. So she has to ask the councillors alone to vote. She has to act only the councillors alone to vote. Suppose 5 councillors. If 3 of them say yes, then she can sell. Then she can erect the novitiate. If 3 of them say no, she cannot do the act. 3 of them say no, she cannot perform the act. All the 5 of them say yes, but she wants to postpone. Okay, no problem. She says, okay, you got your consent, I will do it next year. Or I think it is not good to do it now. Then we gave the consent, no, you have to do, they cannot say. Without the consent, she cannot do. But even after obtaining the consent, she can delay if she wants. That's what I want to say. More than this, very simple manner I cannot explain. It is beyond my power. It is beyond my power. Yesterday you should have understood. I would have been happy if you had said it rightly. An act, a collegial act, and an act with the consent of the council. Consent of the council. Okay. Now, here, with the consent of the council, only both can give permission. The congregation from which she is going, and congregation to which she is going. In Latin, they use a simple expression, a quo. This is ad quem. Ad quo, ad quem. Ad quo is the old congregation. Ad quem is the new congregation. First, permission is needed. Suppose, normally the old congregation, ad quo congregation, gives permission only when a new congregation is willing to accept her. When a new congregation is willing to accept, her own congregation refuses to give permission, then what the sister can do, can always have recourse, approach the higher authority, that is the Holy See. In the case of the pontifical right, I want to leave this congregation, another congregation is willing to take me, but these sisters are not giving permission for me. Then she can approach the Holy See. But you want to join one congregation, that congregation is not taking you, then you cannot go to higher authority, because nobody is obliged to take you. Nobody is obliged to take you. Now, when permission is obtained from both the superior general, both the superiors general, then the member will be in the new congregation for 3 years of probation. Tagudhikan Paruvam, 3 years of probation in the new, minimum of 3 years probation in the new congregation is required. 3 years of probation. The law does not say that she should undergo novitiate in the new congregation. But what will this sister do in the new congregation? She needs to experience the life of the institute. Different communities giving different work and all. That is the role of the sister in the new congregation. Not necessary to repeat the novitiate. But she should be introduced to the congregation. Now, 3 years completed. There are different possibilities. The sister may feel, I thought my congregation was bad, this is worse. In such a situation, she has every right to return to the original congregation. It can be also other ways. You not only spoiled that congregation, you are spoiling our congregation. The new congregation sisters may feel. In that case also they can say, please go back to your congregation. Please go back to your congregation. That is the second possibility. A third possibility, she wants to make profession. The congregation is happy to admit her to profession. In such a situation, she will straight away once again make the perpetual profession. Second perpetual profession. In accordance with the new congregation. Second perpetual profession in the new congregation. Then At that moment, she ceases to be member of the old congregation. Old congregation. One superior general was telling, Father, you are asking me to give her permission. I give, all right. But you are frightening me that she may come back. That's what I don't want. Then I told the sister, please conduct extra holy hour. And then pray that the congregation may accept her, she may join that congregation, she may make profession. 3 years you make extra prayer that she may not be coming back. I was telling. Some people, if they don't come back, we are very happy. Maybe like the elder son of the parable of the prodigal son, no? He did not want the brother to come back. He can be the sole inheritor of the whole property. That's it. So within 3 years, like that, 3 years, the decision has to be taken. So you made a profession after 3 years, 3 months in the new congregation, now full-fledged member. Now you realize you made a mistake. You want to go back to the old congregation. Again the same procedure. Old congregation is not obliged to accept you. Old congregation is not obliged to accept you. You cannot go to the Holy See. Thank God she is member of the new congregation, they will say. You have to shop for congregation. Go to that congregation, will you accept me? Then these people also will have to give permission, like that. That is the thing. So what about the expenses during these 3 years? The ordinary expenses will normally be made by the new congregation. But extraordinary expenses, suppose there is a bypass surgery. Since she is still member of the old congregation only should take care of the extraordinary expenses. We saw among the various types of special consecrated life, 3 categories, isn't it? What are they? 3 categories, yes? Somebody said, straight away, your own identity you forget, straight away secular. Alright, what is this? Not rigorous imprisonment. Religious institute. Then secular institute. Very good. As a group, you are always strong. You answer correctly with the assistance of the Holy Spirit of the neighbor. Religious institute, secular institute, societies of apostolic life. I don't want to ask you questions regarding their special qualities of each of these. I have told afterwards you have to read. I don't want to disappoint myself. Definitely. What are the differences? What are the common factors? Okay, no need of saying. But some others will say wrongly, then I will be very much disappointed afterwards. Okay. Sister has found out the place where she has written and is about to say. I am also very happy. At least where we have itself is something. Where we have written itself is something, some consolation. So now, what I said is okay for changing from religious to religious, secular to secular, society to society. Suppose you want to change from religious to secular, from secular to society, or from here to here, here to here, or here to here. In these cases, you have to get the additional permission of the police. Additional permission of the police. Formerly, only from active apostolate you can go to the cloister. From cloister you should not come to the active apostolate. Now all that distinction is not there. Religious, no problem. Secular, no problem. It is decided at the level of the congregation itself. I have been repeatedly telling you during the course of this program that many of the things which was reserved to the Holy See are now left to the decision-making power of the congregations. That's what is called one of the principle of subsidiarity. Side by side, I want to explain this principle also. You hear about it again and again. Once again, know this principle. What is the principle of subsidiarity? Actually, it comes from the word subsidium, means help. Latin, offering help. I always cite this simple example. You know, small children are learning to walk. 2-year-old, 3-year-old. Sometimes mother will hold the hand of the child. Sometimes the children will say, "Mommy, let my hand go. I can walk alone. Why do you drag me?" Like that they scold. This is the principle of subsidiarity. We help people who are not able to walk. We help people who are not able to walk. When they are able to walk, they have to walk. You should not drag them. So also, the Holy See must decide only for the most important things. Most important things. There should not be too much of gap between decision making and its implementation. What the local superior must decide, she should be able to decide. What the provincial superior has to decide, she must decide. And then superior general only for more important, still more important things, general chapter. The general chapter should not decide each and every step the individual sister takes. So you have to respect the dignity and individuality of the persons. So this principle will also expressed in another term. The higher authority should not unnecessarily interfere in the lower authority. This is this principle. The higher authority should not unnecessarily interfere in what is entrusted to the lower authority. The provincial should not poke her nose in each of the local superiors' duty. She may have power over the all things, but then they know to do what is necessary. The higher authority should not interfere. What should be done at the lower level should be done at that level without any reference to the higher level. Suppose there is a local superior. How many local superiors are there? Only 2 or others? No. How many local superiors in this class? Only 2. Okay. If you are going out, you should get my permission or give information. One local superior should not say, even if you go to bathroom, you have to inform me. No. That's too much. They can go on their own. Washroom, they can go on their own. This is too much of interference. People have freedom. Same thing. When will the higher authority interfere? When there is negligence and abuse by the lower authority. Higher authority should not always keep quiet. Negligence and then abuse. There is an acre of land attached to a community. There is harvest time. One of the sisters complains to the provincial, our superior is not at all bothered about it. Then provincial has to interfere to safeguard the property of the congregation. Otherwise, she has to do, local superior will do, when there is abuse and negligence. You are the local superior, community day celebration. One sister is in charge of chapel decoration, another is in charge of food. Do not go and interfere in each and everything. Put the pin here, put the pin there. Against the principle of subsidiarity. Respect the dignity of that sister. If she does not do, then you have to go. The children also must be learn to use their freedom responsibly. You have to teach them. Principle of subsidiarity is an important principle. That's why now most of the things which Holy See said, I will say, now the policy has said you decide for your congregation. One example I already gave. Formerly, even the age was, a number of years of profession was fixed by the Holy See. Now they said all these you determine. One qualification I say is perpetually professed only can be superiors. So this is very good, principle of subsidiarity. This has come into operation especially after Vatican II at different levels. One of the important documents is on bishops, Christus Dominus number 8. It says, formerly for every dispensation you have to go to the Holy See. Now, Holy See will not give dispensation. Bishops are successors of apostles. Some dispensation only will be reserved to the Holy See. Bishop should have complete power in the diocese. That's why Canon 381 and 91 highlight the role of the bishops as having full power for governing the diocese. Okay, this is in the meantime I am explaining the principle of subsidiarity. Now, any question with regard to transfer from one congregation to another congregation? Transfer from one congregation to another congregation. In this context, suppose a religious priest wants to become a diocesan priest, or I am very closely associated with the MSFS, I want to become a MSFS priest. So in these cases, what can I do? Suppose I want to become a religious priest, I have to undergo the novitiate, minimum of 1 year. Only then I will be allowed first profession. After at least minimum of 3 years in the temporary profession, I will make perpetual profession. When I make perpetual profession, I will be cut off from the Archdiocese of Pondicherry. That is my way of joining a religious congregation. Suppose a religious priest wants to become a diocesan priest. The requirement is that he should get dispensation from the vows. Dispensation from the 3 vows. What about celibacy? Celibacy is made at the time of diaconate. Celibacy remains, obligation to celibacy, otherwise dispensation. Usually, Holy See will not give dispensation to a religious priest unless there is a bishop willing to accept him. That is with regard to the religious. This is transfer from one congregation to another congregation. Any doubt regarding that?
If a brother wants to become a priest,
Brother of
Sacred Heart Brothers or something.
Wants to become a priest in another congregation or?
Diocese, joining the diocese.
Yeah, that's what he has to be dispensed from the vows. Dispensed from the vows. Bishop should be willing to give him the necessary formation and ordain him. Sometimes some brothers' congregation get permission from the Holy See that some of their members are ordained at least for their needs. Otherwise they have to depend on somebody. Women means they cannot be ordained. Canon 10:24 says, as of now the rule is only baptized male can be ordained. 10:24. 10:24. Now there is a commission set up to study the question, at least whether they can receive diaconate ordination. Once in how many years? 1917 code was revised in 1983. 1983. After 1983 code, we have not revised the law. The Holy Father is changing many laws. Now, for example, man-made laws can be changed. Canon 1671 and 1691. 21 canons are new. What is in your canon law book is not correct. Holy Father has changed. Last September he promulgated and it came into effect after 3 months. That is the last December 8th onwards. These canons are changed. 1671 to 1681. You can tear those pages. No, don't tear now. When you get the new pages, you tear the pages. But it is not effective. Okay. 1671 to 1691 in this canon law book,